And we are live. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. We are the Hologrumps. I'm Liam.
And I'm Colum.
And we're here today to bring you the live review of the latest episode of Star Trek Picard, titled The Impossible Box. Now before we begin, there will be spoilers. So obviously, as there always are. So if you haven't seen the episode and you're for whatever reason up this late, go check it out. Or you know what, you can look at us if you want. The episode was written by Nathan Zayas, who has apparently no sci-fi credits, to what I could tell, and directed by Maja Virillo, who also hasn't directed any sci-fi, but he has done one short trek, Runaway, for anyone that was interested. Okay, so if you like what you see here as well, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because we will be here live after every episode of Star Trek Picard. Okay, so the episode opens up with young Soji and a mystery man. So Soji is making her way through the corridors of her house, and she doesn't really know what's going on.
It's a little dream. She's having herself a little dream sequence, and for a split second we thought it might be Riker's child, and we're getting to see Riker. And then it was swiftly pulled from under us that rug was, and we've been left with more Soji.
So just as she's snooping into the kitchen, or wherever, the workshop, her dad turns around and says, Soji! And then she wakes up next to Narek.
And his earplugs.
Yeah, and he has his strange little...
And the worst thing about this is she falls asleep wearing her necklace.
Very uncomfortable looking necklace.
A necklace that is a solid piece of metal. It seems really painful. But what's even more painful is the dialogue.
Yeah, we get lovely dialogue about they're trying to find out everything about each other, and Narek's like, everything is hiding something, whether they know it or not. And so she's,
what are you hiding?
And she's looking for his name, his real name.
Hajim. Was it Cajun chicken? Oh no,
Cayenne.
But that's a spoiler.
Oh dear, we've spoiled the episode.
That was your favourite bit.
Yep, no. And then we cut to Picard and Jurati, and they're talking about Maddox's death. And
but don't forget, he actually asked her to contact her mother, because he's like, well, why don't you call your mother? Because you call your mother every night, don't you?
You're right, yeah.
How do you know that? I know things.
Yes, he just knows. Narek knows. Narek knows. So the Picard and Jurati are talking about Maddox's death, and it's kind of just swept under the rug. It's like, don't be too hard on yourself, Jurati. He meant a lot to you, didn't he? And she's like, yes, and that's it.
Yes, he did.
Then so he's asked, is he looking forward to returning to the Borg cube? And he shares all our sentiments. Looking forward to it. No, not at all.
Neither are we.
Yeah. Jurati tells the audience who Picard is. Because,
well, exactly what happened to Picard, because we don't know that he was assimilated by the Borg, became a very famous Borg named Locutus, had his own episode about it.
Somebody actually says it to him in the episode. He's walking through the corridor and just some random drone is like, hey, Locutus!
And he says it exactly like that as well.
Yeah.
He's pushing some inventory and just goes, oh, Locutus?
Hey, dude! Hey, Locutus!
You never showed up for racquetball!
And then, I can't remember which YouTuber said this. I remember I was listening to somebody and they said that they keep setting up scenes. I'm sorry if you see this and I don't call you out, but they keep setting up scenes in the show just for Picard or Patrick Stewart to have angry acting. So somebody says...
Righteous acting.
Yeah, righteous acting. And somebody says to him, but can the Borg change? And he goes... The Borg can never change. They will always be... It's like, where did this come from?
In fairness, you do expect him to have prejudice because, he is, a traumatic experience, but...
It was kind of just a random thrown out line.
But isn't that part of the syndrome, Irumodic syndrome, flashes of...
Oh no, but it was fed to him. He didn't just have a random flash. So they keep feeding lines to Patrick Stewart just to have him get angry.
It's like trying to trigger someone. Yeah, don't you just hate parallel parking? Parallel parking! I'll tell you a thing or two.
So Picard then returns back to fake Chateau Picard, and we get some nice Imperial throne room music. Yeah. And he looks at old Borg pictures of himself.
Which are basically just nice old episodes. I didn't realise they took a picture of Hugh and they had a picture of Locutus.
Yeah. They had all their experiments all the experiments on the artifact. The Romulans seem to just be posting them to Instagram.
I thought they were like the most secretive species or alien species out there.
They wanted to look like they have secrets. That's what it is. It's more they're all in for the gossip.
Look what we're doing. Yeah. We have Borgs.
Haha, Federation! Take a look at these pictures.
Oh, silly Borgs.
Yeah, and is the artifact meant to be a secret or what is it?
I don't think it's kind of hard to keep it a secret.
It is, isn't it? If they're posting pictures,
and the Federation knows about it, and
maybe it's like a rehabilitation center. It's like Come to the reclamation center and have your old Borg parts thrown out and be fully rejuvenated. And
we'll make you better.
Yeah, and they show before and after pictures of like their really scarred faces.
And then they just use a dermal regenerator to make it unscarred, but they don't give them back an eye, bionic eye. Well, I could do it an eye.
Yeah, no, Hugh got a little blue one.
Prosthetic eye. Yeah.
Okay, then we get to our opening. We got our our 19 producers, etc., etc. We find out who wrote and directed the episode, which we've covered.
And we got the best scene of it all! Rios!
Playing keep-ups.
Yeah, he's playing hacky sack with a ball.
And he's topless.
On the HMS Grande.
And Girardi shows up and kills the mood. Yeah. He's like, space is so cold and empty. And
it was like listening to Anakin talk about his sand hatred. It's rough and coarse, and I don't like it.
And then we get more... non-consensual relationships because Rios doesn't know what's going on with Girardi, so we got another boring relationship, and has there been a single consensual relationship in the show?
Well, this shouldn't be a show about relationships, but the one thing I will say is Girardi's superpower is lame. It's hindsight.
I have the superpower of hindsight.
I have the superpower.
It's 2020.
I can sense mistakes when I make them. Girardi feels hollow. She feels hollow. Confirmed. Girardi is a hologram. Confirmed.
Unless they're trying to take the lead of what was it, the episode of Voyager, which Lifeline, where the Doctor goes back to help his creator Louis Zimmerman, and he's on the Jupiter station with his.
But he had a mobile emitter.
No. But he was transported back to the Alpha Quadrant to the Jupiter station, and Louis Zimmerman was living with his. Creation, his holographic. I think he had her for 13 years.
Yes,
and she wasn't his lover. That was the difference. He did love her, but
we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah,
here.
But I think that they could be trying to do the same idea with Girardi here, and maybe Maddox built Girardi. Who knows? Yeah, that's why she's hollow.
It's probably likely, to be honest. Maybe she's made of wood.
Or else she is a hologram, and their secret was it's actually the Doctor from the Delta Quadrant the whole time.
I'm the spy.
Yeah. Okay. So we get to speaking of non-consensual relationships, we then get Narek and Rizzo.
Rizzo. Do you know? Okay, I know it's getting a lot like. It is kind of funny that it's not able to go anywhere. The relationship, like Narek is just like, no, get away, shoo. I don't know why, but like the character of Rizzo is starting to grow on me because she's really just leaning into the evil so heavy that it's actually becoming enjoyable for me. I don't know why.
No,
it's becoming so arch that I can't help but be like, yeah, she's just Maleficent.
Well, whenever I see the two of them together, I just know terrible scenes are coming.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for ominous music and terrible scenes.
Yeah, and they always have the same conversation over and over and over again.
Well, what have you achieved? What's the situation?
You're not moving fast enough. I'm going to step in. It's time to use brute force, just because that worked so well on Earth when they tried beating up Dodge and put a bag on her head
and melted her. Yeah.
So Narek believes that Soji's dreaming might lead the Romulans or Narek and Rizzo or the Tal Shiar or the Zat Vash. It gets confusing.
They stopped saying Zat Vash.
Yeah, it's kind
of they've given up on it.
Zat Vash.
Maybe it's so secretive that they can't even say it anymore. They had 3 times they could say it and then done.
Maybe it was added in a post. Maybe it was never meant to be in the show.
Vash. They just edited Picard saying, Josh Bach?
Yeah,
Josh Bosch?
but they couldn't get the ADR to work correctly, so they were always saying, the Tal Shiar, the Zat Vash. I don't know. Yeah, so...
But back on the HMS Grande, the collective do not forget one of their own. And don't forget, it should cut to all the times Picard was unnoticed by the Borg.
Yeah, I reckon somebody is going to do this after Picard said, yeah, the collective, they never forget one of their own. And they'll cut to all the times you see either two Borg meeting and being like,
who's this guy?
You were part of the collective. Although it's usually very apparent because they'll have all these cybernetic things on top of them. So maybe Picard is just assuming, I don't know, kind of reaching here. Because
well, I suppose it's a case of they never forget someone was part of the collective because they were... But I suppose if you're looking at a ship, it's not as if they can scan and go, oh yeah, there's someone who was part of the collective on that ship.
Yeah.
But they can be like, Locutus? Hey
dude, hey Locutus. Hey, I don't I'd say he just has that problem because he's one of the most famous officers in all of Starfleet, so
everyone just knows who he is anyway.
Everyone knows who he is anyway.
Every bald guy is trying to be him, even the Borg bald guys.
Yeah. So their plan is to get Picard diplomat credentials.
Yeah, so temporary diplomatic credentials.
So he can get aboard the artifact. So we get some drunk and drug-induced Raffi contacting Captain Sue.
I can't remember her name.
I'm sure it was something like that.
But it went on forever. It went on far, far, far too long. I was like, could you not just sweet talk her a bit quicker? Like, we have a whole episode to get through. 54 minutes of this, like.
Yeah, it was longer than usual. Usually they're only 43 minutes, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
And they've made the episode 54 minutes, but it was kind of like, this is the director's cut. This is what we.
But where was the extra 10 minutes? I didn't feel. Was it the extra 10 minutes were left with Raffi talking to this captain about, hey, so yeah, Picard's already here. So if you don't give him a badge, he's gonna, cause a diplomatic incident.
Yeah, there were kind of just scenes that looped around over and over that could have been cut in half. But anyway, then we get our first ad break because we're cheapskates and only pay for the commercial CBS All Access.
And we'll never pay for more.
No.
Never more. Never more.
And so then we come back and Soji called her mom and fell asleep while talking to her, just like us watching the episode.
Yeah, when she started yawning, I started yawning. She stabbed herself in the hand, did nothing.
Yeah.
She stabbed herself with like a scalpel in the hand, and it did nothing. She just fell asleep anyway. So that is one powerful suggestive hypnosis. Just go to sleep. Maybe you should lie down. Maybe you should lie down. Maybe you should lie down.
Yeah. It's kind of a metaphor for any people that love Star Trek that are watching Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
The show is Soji's mom.
How do you survive this? I mean, how do we survive this? We survive this because we know we have to talk about it. If I was watching this and not talking about it, I'd spend about a week giving out to Liam about it. Yeah. Over the course of the week. If I didn't just get it all out now, I'd spend about a week just giving out about this.
Yeah, we have kind of vented all. We don't have to give out during the week, which is the great thing about the channel.
Yeah,
it's kind of like we're in an abusive relationship with someone, and every week we have to go to therapy and unload it all. And you lot are
catharsis. Yeah.
So every call Soji makes, according to Narek, lasts exactly 70 seconds. That's nice of her mum to keep talking until she reaches that quota.
We should have actually counted that scene to see how long that scene lasted.
But we don't know how long she keeps talking for after Soji.
But wasn't there the whole keeps talking after Soji's asleep?
Imagine so, yeah.
You should lie down, Soji.
Okay, so yeah, I was just wondering, why doesn't she ever try to call Daj? She literally never tried to call her. And I know you might say it's in her programming that she won't call Daj, but why doesn't Narek say to her, you know what? Why don't you call your sister and see how she's doing? Your mom says she's okay.
Why would you do that? Because then she just find out her sister's dead, and she'd end up leaving the cube to go find out what happened.
Yeah, and she'd also know her mom's lying to her.
Yeah, and that would just be a cascade failure. So no, don't say, hey, better check on your sister. She might be dead.
Well, I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
The HMS Grande arrives at the cube, and Picard has to go alone because his credentials would only allow for him to go and nobody
Yeah.
else. Soji, we then see Soji in her room, and she has this device that dates
carbon dates everything.
dates everything. That all her possessions, and they're all exactly 37 months old.
Which is slightly odd. You think that they'd build up her repertoire over a certain amount of time, but it seems like they're all made in the exact same day. No, that's 37 months old. We just replicated it all in one go.
Yeah, they just came off the conveyor belt.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's loads of Dajas out there and loads of Sojis, and they're all just, secretly infiltrating different races. Like, some of them have Vulcan ears, other ones are Bolians. There's an Andorian Soji out there. Maybe.
They're the dream infiltrators.
And they're the exact same picture, just they have blue skin. There's a Gorn Soji, who's just a big giant lizard. But it's the same picture. Her mom's some Asian woman. You're
killing me here. A whole universe populated with dojis.
Dojis. Yeah.
Doji Soji.
Yeah, that seems like it's gonna happen. They have their own home planet. That's what Narek said. Like, we've got to find out the home planet.
It'll be like iRobot, the scene at the end when they're all in their containers and what's the name of the character?
Will Smith.
No.
Shia LaBeouf.
No, the main robot.
iRobot.
Yeah, let's call him iRobot. I forget. And Bill shows up at the containers, and all the discarded iRobots are popping their heads out of their containers, and he's like, "I've come to lead you to a better world." Because we did get the complete works of
Isaac
Asimov and his robot, the complete robot.
So you think Bruce Maddox was building a planet for all synthetic life? Well, not building a planet, but
Sure.
Why not?
Why not?
That's super creative.
Okay, so Picard meets with Hugh after he's beamed aboard the Borg cube,
and he's blinded.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on there. Are these just general lens flares, or they have a giant spotlight?
It seems a bit unsafe when you're walking around platforms that have no railings.
Yeah, I was blinded, and we're just watching this on the TV. Imagine being there in person.
No wonder Picard nearly fell to his death.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And he got triggered by all the Borg alcoves. It seemed like the appropriate spot to beam him in.
And of course, he meets all the XBs. Do you know what XBs stands for?
I'm assuming ex-Borgs.
No, it stands for former Borgs. That's, reclaimed Borgs.
Ex-Borgs.
Yeah, but they never say ex-Borgs.
It was very funny because, what's his name?
Hugh
says to Picard, "We're looking for a new identity for ourselves. We're trying to move on. So we're going to call ourselves ex-Borgs." That'd be like if you were abused and you called yourself ex-abused. Trying to move on.
the person formerly abused.
I'm trying to move on from all this. I refer to myself as formerly abused.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and he has to remind us of how attractive Narek is, and he says, "Oh, there must be something strange going on with Soji ever since that dashing young Romulan showed up."
Yeah, dashing. I just imagine him with a cape and a little rapier. Ha ha!
He said he's been there for 2 weeks, and Narek and Soji have completely fallen in love, and they've said that to each other, and they're sleeping together, and
yeah, why not?
Wow, Narek is one smooth operator.
Yeah, he's the smoothest. That's why they put him in charge of this mission.
Yeah, dashing. Okay, so Narek may know how to help Soji figure out what's going on with her dreams, and we get another made-up Romulan tradition, which is just guided meditation.
It's a very bad guided meditation. This is the worst, weakest scene in it. Close your eyes and imagine the dream you had already. And while you're closing your eyes and walking around, just walk around the room, but don't kick the lights.
Yeah, I like how they didn't even bother trying to explain how this is going to work. So
on a robot.
Yeah, they could have tried using the kind of the telekinesis side of
the Vulcan Romulan split.
But they didn't bother. They just put her in a room with candles and said, "Okay, here we go." And now imagine
you're going left, and then you're touching the window, and oh dear, no, you're definitely going to look at you can't just change a dream. He has no face.
Yeah, no, this time look at him. Just look at him.
No, I can't.
Okay, so then we got. It was. I thought this was an okay scene. It was nice a little bit. The music could have been better.
What scene?
Picard seeing the Borg being reclaimed.
Yeah, him being filled with his sense of wonderment
and thinking to himself, "Wow, I really did get off lucky."
Oh, could have lost an eye there. Actually, should have lost an eye considering he did have an eyepiece. Well, I guess it didn't take. I guess he got his eye back. Grew back.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. No, he always had his 2 eyes, even as a Borg.
Did he?
Let me think.
Where did he get?
I feel like he did.
Oh no, I'm just thinking of that dream sequence from First Contact.
Yeah. But they should have got like what's his name? They should have got the Doctor to oversee the Borg reclamation because he did a great job in 7 of 9.
Apparently, he was. And Icheb.
And
justice for Icheb.
Justice for Itchy. Very sore point. Okay, so we go back to the HMS Grande, and this is where we notice that they've just completely stopped using the word Zatvash.
Yeah, the Zatvash is just gone. It's just Tal Shiar now. Tal Shiar, general term, all secret police. Tal Shiar. The Tal Shiar are coming to get you, not the Zatvash.
Yeah, he's forgotten everything that Laris and Zban said to him. I kind of miss his Romulan housekeepers.
Yeah,
they were nice.
They were nice and refreshing, and they took no guff.
Why didn't he bring the 2 of them along with him? Because they had no problem beating the living hell out of.
They were super spies.
Yeah, they were super spies, and he's like, "I'll leave them on the farm, and now we have to go to this planet and get ourselves a samurai warrior." I mean, what is with the obsession in current sci-fi with people with swords?
Sci-fi as a general rule has always been centered on fantasy up close combat. I mean, you look at loads of different sci-fi references. Like, why do Klingons have bat'leths?
Yeah, but they still.
But there's countless other examples. I mean, Star Wars is another one.
Yeah, well, he worked that in cleverly to overcome the fact that you can't bring a knife or a sword to a gunfight.
You have other sci-fi material like Warhammer 40k, which is this big.
Yeah, but this isn't Warhammer. This is Star Trek. When did you see Picard running into battle with a sword?
I'll find it. Don't make me find it.
It's going to be one, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Definitely is.
There's always one. But that being said, let's get back to this awkward.
But you didn't see Worf running into a battle with a bat'leth.
Yeah, I know.
Because they knew.
But this is general sci-fi now. We're not dealing with Star Trek here anymore. It's general sci-fi.
Like him standing. Like, have they ever seen Indiana Jones when he shoots the guy with the sword? I mean, that's what would happen to.
But they have a duonetic field surrounding us, so all the weapons are deactivated. I recently watched an episode of DS9 where Jadzia Dax had a blood feud with this albino Klingon, and she got her old Klingon crew together of 4 old Klingons or 3 old Klingons, and they all assaulted this guy's place, but they activated a dampening field that prevented all the weapons from firing, so they had to just kill them all with their bare hands. That's how they do it. They're everywhere.
Yeah, so we're just going to assume that he has that in his pocket. Anyway, okay, sorry, we'll move on. Digressing.
Or he can dodge bullets.
Yeah, okay, let's say he can dodge bullets. Because blaster fire moves a little bit slower. Okay, so we found out Narek's real name, which we've told everyone, Khiam.
I think it's Cayenne Pepper, but...
Yeah, and he's guiding Soji through her dream, and...
Rizzo is being super evil and watching
from the observatory.
She'd make a great Sith, wouldn't she? Think about it. She just has that look of someone pure evil. No redeemable qualities whatsoever.
Yeah, if you want to go for a character that I really want to hate at all times, she's perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't...
She's not Star Trek, but she's perfect.
Oh, she could be if she was made up properly.
She's just short of evil laughter.
Yeah. But I don't particularly want to see her in anything. I've kind of gone past the stage of just wanting to hate my villains.
Yeah.
I usually want something I usually want to get to the point where you kind of see things from their perspective and realize that they're a little bit complex.
You mean like good writing?
Good writing, yes. Yeah. Which isn't present in current Star Trek. Okay, so Picard and Hugh enter Soji's quarters, and it's upside down. It's a mess, and they think, and Hugh thinks Soji could be concealed somewhere in the ship, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know where she could be."
In a locker.
Yeah. And then Soji can't finally sees her father, but she can't make out his face.
He's a faceless man. He's Slender Man.
Yeah. And was this a scene in Westworld? I can't remember, where Dolores sees herself as like a robot sprawled out on a table, and she didn't realize that she was a robot at first. I can't remember, but maybe they saw that in Westworld, and that's what inspired.
She's Pinocchio.
Scene. Yeah, Pinocchio, and her father's Geppetto, of course.
Yeah.
I wish they had just gone full on Geppetto, and he turns around with the apron on and the beard.
And Jiminy Cricket in the corner.
Yeah, she sees herself as a doll, and Narek can finally tell her now, "You aren't real. It's okay. I'm about to kill you." Why doesn't he just see? Why does he have to tell her he's going to kill her? Yeah, why does he have to trigger her? This is stupid. He knows that she gets triggered.
Why don't you just go, "I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shut the door. You wait here."
Why make it? Why spell it out for what he's going to do? It's ridiculous.
I'm fine.
They knew putting a bag on Dodge's head didn't work. Why would sticking her in a room with a stupid box and a slow
She tore
releasing
through a bulkhead. A whole like she literally, you triggered her and she ripped through a bulkhead. I'm surprised she wasn't just punching down walls, getting around. She was moving so quickly, apparently.
Yeah, kind of. She looked like the Hulk.
Yeah, she was
just
just
very funny.
She was just going furious. She was like the Red Hulk.
But we know she can die as easily as anyone else in a sense, because we saw the explosion. The explosion, it killed her. Yeah, Dodge. So just blow up the room. Oh, Narek and
hard to explain, though, isn't it?
Stupid little box.
Hard to explain to the rest of the cube, though, why a room got blown up.
It doesn't matter. She's dead. They got what they needed, and she's dead, and they can disappear.
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe they need the room. Maybe really offend all the other Romulans.
But they... Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everyone else will realise how dumb it is as well. Okay, so then... Oh, the Sicarian transporter that the board...
Wait. Remember when
yes.
Soji drops in front of Picard and Picard just goes, "Oh, I'm a friend of Dodge. I tried to help her.
Hello, I'm not a trick. I wasn't waiting here. Yes, look at this necklace that wasn't...
Shiny trinket."
Essentially, yeah. She's just nearly been poisoned. She drops down in front of this crazy old man that she's never seen before, who's saying, "Oh, come with me. I know your sister. Yes. Let's get out of here." It's not a bit convenient that this could have just been a plot to recapture her.
Yeah, but it's the weirdest thing having an old man do it. But yeah, I suppose, why would she trust Hugh?
Part of the plot.
Yeah,
it's part of the plot.
But they do get trust.
So Hugh tells him that he can get them off the Borg cube because the Queen in her quarters found this Sicarian magic transporter. Because
no, they assimilated the Sicarians and then they stole their powers, their magic powers.
What's it?
Transwarp teleportation.
JJ Trek is obsessed with this. They love it. I knew it was only a matter of time before they bring this in. They don't care about time and space. They just want people to go from A to B like that because it's
like season 8 Game of Thrones.
Yes, and it's just a get from A to B without any time jumps. That's why they had the spore drive in Star Trek Discovery, because they don't want episodes of let's just let time pass.
They also had it in the first Star Trek movie, first JJ.
They had it in the second one as well, in Into Darkness, where Khan teleports to the Klingon homeworld.
Yeah, but they also had it where
Scotty
teleports, transports them onto the ship, which is moving. It's like what does he say? It's like trying to fire a bullet at another bullet moving on top of it.
Yeah, when they first introduced it, then I didn't mind. It was like
this is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, this is kind of fun, and now they just do it all the time. And it's just
they did it in. I think they did it. It's either it must be DS9. They did it in like the first or the second season.
Oh no, they have done it in Star Trek. I mean,
but they just said that like this is insanely difficult to do, and it's not safe. So let's not do it too much.
It was always this really, really rare exception that it happened, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Part of the plot. I mean, it's just convenient. And just as they're about to board the transporter, and there's no need for this, but Elrond shows up, drops down a hole.
He appears. He just spawns.
He spawned, yeah.
And he saves Picard.
Cuts up some Romulans.
Kills them.
Gets lots
like
of
that.
green.
Doesn't even give them his usual warning of choose not to fight or.
He does.
Does he? I thought he just killed them.
Oh, he does for them ones, yeah. He does at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
it's terrible. Picard and
why didn't he just go through it with them?
Soji. Picard and Soji go into the Sicarian transporter. It's a circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
The Sicarian transporter, and they go to wherever Riker and Counselor Troy are. Deanna Troy, probably Beta Z, and the episode ends with a blackout of Hugh and Elrond going through the door. Door goes down, and then he says something like, "Now it's the choice, friends. Choose to live."
It's just choose to live, isn't it? Yeah.
Choose to live, and then, boom, episode over, and you can.
I can't understand why they didn't just they all didn't go through and just lock the gate or destroy it. Destroy it.
Because Hugh had to cover up that
it existed.
No, yeah, you had to cover up that it existed and hide the transport coordinates.
But surely they're just gonna say what they couldn't have disappeared. So let's just see what they were what they're protecting.
Maybe they beamed aboard the HMS Grande.
Well, they didn't.
We don't know.
They would have detected it. It strains credulity.
I'd say and I'm not looking forward to a second rewatch of this. Oh God,
We have to do that now.
oh no. Yes, so for everyone watching this, we unfortunately do a review of the episode the night it airs, or it'll upload tomorrow, and we have to watch the episode twice. Really taking it for the team.
Yeah, unfortunately. We do this for you, our one viewer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we'll wrap it up, won't we?
Yeah, I suppose we have to, don't we?
Yeah. So, rating, what would you give it, Colin?
Out of what?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. I will say I give it a 5. But as a Picard episode, I give it a 7. That's a bit confusing, but as a normal bit of sci-fi, it's a 5. As a Star Trek, it's a 4. As a Picard episode, it's a 7. It's a stronger episode than most of them.
That is an interesting point. I was thinking it when we were watching it, that I don't know what to even think about this show. As an episode of Star Trek, I would never bother watching it. There's been nothing in this I'd want to rewatch.
There's constant music. There's really up close. There's no wide angle shots. There's no people talking with most of their body in shot. There's something really jarring about the angles in this. It's all too slick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's all too... Everything's perfect. Everything flows into each other. Whereas, the original series and all the other series, they weren't perfect. It was just, there's the camera, do your scene. And then we'll cut to a different we'll cut to a close-up partway through it. Instead of just close-up, switch to close-up, kissing scene, switch to close-up, another kissing scene, leading them to the bed to have sex.
Yeah. See, the problem as well is we've seen all these episodes with 3 times now each.
Yeah.
And there's nothing even I can remember most of the episodes, but there's nothing that even stands out to me as a scene that was well paced and I remember it. But if I think about old Star Trek and even episodes I haven't seen in years and years, there's just all this stuff that I can remember. Oh, this episode had this really lovely scene in it.
But Liam, you haven't given your rating.
Oh, my rating. As generic sci-fi, I would say 5. As an episode of Star Trek Picard, 5. I mean, it just was... Didn't really think about it. As an episode of Star Trek, 2, 3. I mean, it's very... somebody could try and convince me this was good by giving me all the buzzwords. Like, oh, it's so current.
But if it wasn't Star Trek, it'd be good. As in, if it was its own independent thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it, but
I wouldn't mind watching a show about some old captain getting back in the saddle one last time. If it wasn't Jean-Luc Picard and I didn't know more about the character than the people who are writing it.
Yeah.
People who wrote Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, these people are responsible for the legacy.
It was the director, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I don't care.
I'll check.
These people are responsible for the legacy of such a beloved series, and it's one of I think it was Dave Cullen I was listening to, and he was pointed out that I'm sure that when the writers envisioned and created, say, the character of Icheb to have a role model in Seven of Nine, they never once imagined that Icheb would get brutally butchered, Saw style, on a table with his eye pulled out,
and it's completely out of context, though. As in, it's not as if there's an episode leading up to it. It's the equivalent of just happened. Okay, let's move on. That's her motivation. Now you got her motivation. Well done. Okay, right. Let's go on.
Yeah. So we have to wonder what other characters are they going to do that to, and they can do it whenever they want because they own the rights to it.
All of them. They can kill anyone like Tom Paris. He's dead. Yeah, he crashed into the sun. Yeah.
I might Rick Berman put a tweet up saying, how are you all enjoying Star Trek Picard? And I might go tweet it now after this.
And say I'm not.
And I never had a problem with Berman Trek. I would have watched it all day long. I know a lot of people did, and there are a lot of people that are saying, we're so sorry, Rick, we're so sorry. That... And it's funny as well about how everyone was so angry at Rick Berman after the end of the Enterprise finale, because it was essentially a continuation of the Next Generation. Yeah, but him and Brannon Braga spoke about this and said they made a huge mistake in the way they approached that episode, and that they approached with the best of intentions, but they misread the fan base, which is really nice of them to own up to. As
opposed to these
Ryan
people
Johnson.
who just go, yeah, well, you're wrong.
You're racist. You're wrong. You don't get to. This is so current. This is so topical. You don't get to criticize this show. Yeah. So they just can't admit that they've read the fan base horribly wrong. Although there are people that disagree with us. So, and you're allowed to disagree with us. I mean, we're not going to go out of our way.
We're pretty moderate in our anger.
Yeah, we're pretty defeated.
Yeah,
futile.
As we've come to say.
Yeah,
existence is futile.
Which will be our closing off statement. So we'll close this up.
Yeah, so if you like what you saw here, if you've managed to stick this far through, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Obviously, comment on our videos as well. We do like to discuss with commenters as well. We're here next week. We're going to do a live video. If you want to check out a more concise video, tune in for our actual review of it. We have to watch it again to do that. But other than that, we're going to close it out here. I've been Colm.
And I've been Liam.
Take care.
Existence is futile.